Hello, Pokemon players. Welcome back to the Pokemon Trading Card Game 2019 European Regional Championships here in DreamHack in Jönköping, Sweden. I'm Nicholas Pierce.
And I'm Philip Schultz, and yeah, we have our round 1 pairing. We will be seeing Gabor von Meenen versus Juraj Schrojf, so a German player versus actually, I'm not very sure where Juraj is from. He's definitely from Eastern Europe. I don't want to say wrong country, so let's just wait until we have the flags here. And yeah, it's both, of course, veteran players, so I'm hoping for a good game. We will be seeing what's coming up, and they should be starting shortly. Like, they are just sitting down right now, signing a waiver, making the setup. So it shouldn't take too long until we get started here.
We have a really nice setup here. Actually, we've sort of
Yes.
nice. We've got it's a very professional affair going on here. It's been very cool to sort of
Yes,
see.
guys. I hope you guys will be enjoying it because we put in lots of work into this. So I hope this should be a great show for you.
Yeah, I hope so as well. So we don't know what either of these players are playing right now, and even if we did, we wouldn't say anything because we don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, I think Gabor should be an interesting guy to watch because like he's a player from Germany, so I know more about him than about Uri, and I know that like he's been playing for a very long time, and he very much likes to play unconventional decks. So. Like, it's oftentimes a meta deck, but he puts a twist on it and, like, plays it very different than usual people. So, like, not always, but it's quite possible that we might see something very interesting from him. And, of course, he doesn't put that much time into the game right now, but he still has very decent finishes. Like, alone this season, he already made finals at a special event in Cannes. He made day 2 at the European Internationals, so...
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because I don't think I've actually, in all the commentary I've done, I don't think I've ever actually commented on a game with him featured, so this will be sort of the first time.
Yeah, always entertaining player to play against, always entertaining to watch him.
Yeah, definitely. So, whilst we wait for these players to get their headsets on and get set up, we will... you can probably hear some of the announcers going on in the background. We can tell you that we have 107 players here at the regionals today.
That's pretty small for European regionals, but we've talked about this earlier, right? I mean, the player count doesn't really say how difficult a regional champion is. It only says how much points you need, but like getting these points, the less players, the harder it is to get these points you need. So
yeah, it's also funny because at the first player count we got, it was actually 108, and we were just looking earlier, and in Spiritom's Pokedex entry, it says that 108 is the number of souls that's actually contained within Spiritomb. So if we had 108 players, that would have been like a definite sign that Spiritomb is destined to win this event, but not to be. So that obviously means that Spiritomb can't win anymore.
Yeah, talking about Spiritomb, what meta do you expect? Do you think something like Spiritomb is a very specific-ish counter deck to like? I mean, Mark. I've heard like Mark Lutz is gonna play it, and he said like, oh yeah, it's a specific counter to like stuff like Zapdos and stuff like Zorak. So what kind of meta would you expect here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's very interesting because as far as I understand it, Mark is the variant of Spiritomb that he's playing is very different to the one that did well recently at the Origin special event.
Yeah,
because
but like the general concept seems similar. Like it has more or less the same Pokemon like Umbreon, Honchkrow GX, Spiritomb. So Mark has some different twists on it, I think, but yeah, I really hope we will see him. I don't want to spoil too much about it, also don't want to talk too much about like some deck where there are 106 other players here who are, of course, are here to win this.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe there's like 1 or 2 who aren't here to win this, but I think most people should be here.
Yeah.
Doing their best, and yeah.
And I do believe the players have their headsets on, so we can talk about what decks they have, and I hope you like Shedinja, because we do have a Shedinja here alongside Juraj, who will be playing, it looks to be Malamar.
Oh, Malamar, yes. And it's an interesting Malamar because, it's just normal Malamar, Ultra Crossma. So yeah, we will be seeing a normal Malamar deck against Shedinja control, which we've seen at URC. And yeah, I'm excited because I know this deck quite well, because like a few weeks before UIC came to me and said like, yo, I'm 90% sure I broke the format. I have this deck that can't lose. And yeah, we tested it. We were quite excited for at first, but figured out that it had some weaknesses, so most of us didn't play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still played it for top 64. And yeah, with this set, for Unbroken Bonds for Shedinja control, it got a lot better because it got additional tools like Lieutenant Search Strategy, for example, like Chip Check X, and like the Mew that prevents bench damage. So the deck got improved quite a lot. And yeah, I'm excited to see how well Gabor can manage with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be pretty cool. You can see that Juraj on the left and Gabor on the right. And Gabor will be the one playing this Shedinja stall deck, of course, featuring that 4/4 Zeb striker line. Just
Yeah, for anyone who is not aware of what Shedinja does, it's a Oranguru-based deck which uses Zeb striker to Zeb striker stage 1 that discards the hand and then draws 4. So you try to discard all of the cards you have in your deck as soon as possible, get down to 0 deck cards, and then you use Oranguru's resource management to recover card, and then always draw those cards back with Zeb striker.
yes.
And you use this combination with like Brock's Grid and stuff like that to recover Shedinja, which is a stage 1, and you can attach it to your Pokemon as a tool, and the Pokemon it's attached to gives up 1 less prize card.
Yes, exactly. So the idea is you just repeat that over and over
Exactly,
again until you run your opponent out of resources.
Yeah, so you have some disruption cards, and then you basically have an Oranguru that doesn't give up prizes, and you disrupt your opponent until he can't win anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's basically like the Sableye Gabor deck, which has seen a lot of success in the past, a lot of success in Expanded, and like a deck always to look out for.
Oh, it looks like Gabor has put out his prize cards already, and nothing too bad in his prizes. It's a nice sort of spread of different things, so nothing too bad
Here
there.
we see this Shedinja, which is the core one of the core cards in his deck, the Brock's Grid, which is also very important. But the deck, of course, it plays Gladion to get important cards out of the prizes, and it has multiple copies of important stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Exactly.
Gabor has 2 Brock's Grid, 2 Gladion.
Yeah.
So
every single card that's in his prizes, he plays more than one of. So
exactly.
He'll be
So
okay.
these cards won't matter too much. The Fire Energy might hurt a bit because he doesn't play too many energies, so it might be hard for him to draw it in time. But as I said, the point of the deck is to draw through all the cards. So drawing your stuff isn't.
Yeah, so there we go, and we are off. The game begins. Looks like Gabor will be going first. Starts with a Oranguru in the active and a Nincada on the bench. Just starts off with a Nest Ball.
Going for Nest Ball, looking through his deck, probably taking some time to figure out what's priced, and probably just checking for the most important card. And yeah, one important thing for Gabor is of course that he already went first, which is like a very important thing for this deck, because this way he can set up Shedinja before Uri gets the opportunity to attack, which is very important because the calculation is that your opponent only has 4 Guzma, he takes a prize turn 2, so he can take 5 prizes maximum when he's out of resources.
Yeah.
But now, of course, Uri probably won't get to attack and take a prize turn 2, so he would only take prizes with Guzma or stuff like Field Blower.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's, of course, already pretty nice for Gabor.
Yeah. And speaking of pretty nice, I mean, look at this start here.
Yes.
Got Nest Ball and Professor Elm's Lecture,
Yeah,
so of course.
This is perfect. First turn, of course, what you want to do, you want to get your basic Pokemon. And we see Gabor going for those 3 Blitzel, going to set up as many Substrika as soon as possible. And yeah, this is looking pretty good for him. Going first, having this great opening. Oh, he already has a Fire Energy as well. So yeah, everything's looking fine for Gabor. And let's see how Uri can respond to this. Oftentimes Malama decks they play a lot of ball cards, so they oftentimes have a very good opening with like 3 Inkai or something like that, and that's definitely what Uri is looking for here. And yeah, discarding a Psychic Energy already pretty nice, and taking a good look at his deck and thinking about his options. Yeah.
So of course one of the important things that he'll be considering when playing this matchup is the fact that obviously Giratina, when it does its Shadow Impact attack, does 40 damage to one of your own Pokemon. So you can use that to do something like KO your own Marshadow to reuse it. And that means that, not only that, but it also means that you can bring the prizes down to a point where you can actually use Sky Scorching Light GX.
Yeah.
So it's very important that all thing to keep in mind, and I'm sure he'll be considering this when he plays through this matchup, if he can go for it, of course.
Yeah. And an interesting thing to mention is that Uri priced his Tabulele. Usually, the Malama decks only play 1 of those, so it's a very important consistency card, and there's only 1 of it, and it's in his prices, so it's possible that he might get a pretty awkward opening, because I'm not sure if I saw any supporter card in his hand.
No, you might have to go for a Marshadow here, and yes. He really doesn't want to be using this early, ideally, because he wants to be trying to use it as much as possible to disrupt Gabor instead. I mean, Gabor doesn't have much to disrupt right now. He's had this amazing start.
Also, like, the Marshadow is pretty good on turn 1, because later on Gabor wants to set up those Striker, so he will have a lot of consistency cards on the board already. Yeah. So like first turn is pretty much optimal for Marshadow on Uri's side.
Yeah, and
Very interesting choice going for the Mew here.
Yeah, so I imagine he'll be doing that to make use of its attack, which of course can place free damage counters on the opponent's Pokemon any way you like. So that sets up some nice numbers with Sky Scorching Light later on.
Prioritizing this over Inkai is very interesting though. So he seems to be like not taking it very aggressive. We've talked about how Gabor already went first, had a good opening.
Yeah. Oh, so look at this, the leaf 7 from Juraj.
That's great. That's what you want to see on your first turn.
Definitely.
Getting this Lily is just what you need to get into the game to have all the cards at your disposition.
Yeah. And he's drawn a lot of Malamar. Is it 3 Malamar he's drawn?
Also, an interesting thing is the Tapu Koko here. Because of course it's spread as well. And yeah, as we've mentioned, Gabor's strategy is to like not let your opponent have enough Guzma for the game. But of course, Uri doesn't need Guzma if he can just spread to the bench.
No, exactly. And I imagine that this sort of strategy that he's going to try and go for as much as possible is going ahead with the escape rope. And this might be why he's not focusing on Inkay so much, that he realizes that getting a bunch of Malamars down and accelerating into Ultra Necrozma isn't how he's going to win. He's perfectly content to just spread slowly a few turns after few turns, and then finish off with a big spread to KO a bunch of stuff at once.
Yeah. So he seems to be content with just maximum of 1 Malamar because Gabor won't be taking any knockouts, and he only has 1 bench spot left. But yeah, basically he will attack with Tapu Koko repeatedly. Yeah. He's ready to attack with Mew. So that's all he needs. Yeah. But of course, Gabor plays his own Mew, so it has the ability that prevents damage done to your bench Pokemon. However, Mew places damage counter, so Mew still works.
Yeah, and not only that, but Gabor's bench is currently full.
Yeah, exactly. But he has the Shedinja, the Ninjask.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, Ninkada, he can evolve it to Shedinja and then use Shedinja's ability to attach it to one of his Pokemon as a tool, and then of course he has a bench spot again. Yeah. Also, Ditto can turn into a Shedinja as well, of course.
Yes, so, but Gabor just passes.
Now here we see the devastating power of this Let Loose Marshmallow, a card that has been discussed a lot. Many people dislike it, some people like it, and yeah, this is of course the strength that it can have. We saw Uri, he got his own Lily off of it, which is of course amazing for him, and on the other side we see Gabor, unfortunately not drawing anything.
Yeah, as we've seen many times, pretty much since it became popular, Marshadow has been a deciding factor in a ridiculous amount of games, quite frankly. Just the power level of, you think, back to when we had the Scrojf cards like N, which is shuffled in and let you draw, it made your opponent draw equals the number of prizes left. You think, oh, drawing 4, that's not so bad, right? But it turns out sometimes it is.
And yeah, here Uri goes with the Radiant Forest, one of the key cards in the Malamar deck. If you don't know it, it allows you once per turn, any player may discard a card from his hand and search the deck for a basic energy, which is great for Malamar because you want to get basic energies in your discard pile and you play different basic energies for your Ultra Necrozma and your Malamars. So that's of course great. Yes. And yeah, here Uri keeps going with the Mew, and yeah, this seems to be his strategy. Yeah, and he took a knockout on the Ditto.
Yes, he did. So he also did Distortion Door to place 2 damage counters, one on a Ditto and one on one of the Blitzels, and then placed 3 on the Ditto.
Interesting thing is that now he doesn't have any bench spots left from Malamar, so he seems to be very content with attacking with nothing but with Mew.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense, right? Because he doesn't need to attach quickly in this matchup. He's just going to attach slowly, try and do some spread damage, and finish off with Sky Scorching Light. He has time to attach energies manually in this matchup, so why go for Malamar when you don't need it?
Exactly. There have been early versions of his deck that played Gabor, so against a version like this, it might have been hurting him because Gabor could take a knockout on Mew and then there wouldn't be much response on Uri's side. But of course, Gabor has the fire energy on his side of the bench, so he's revealing that he doesn't play any attacking Pokemon.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, here we can see Gabor going just with a Nest Ball, and yeah, he drew
Ninkada. So not going for Mew just yet. Wait, unless does he play it? Let's have a look at his list. He does play it.
He does play Mew, but like the Mew of Uri places damage counters.
Yeah, so
it does too much. And here, great, but oh no, he didn't draw Zip Striker, which was of course what he was hoping for to get himself going. So this is painful, of course. Yeah. Also, an interesting option which is open thanks to no space for Malamar on Uri's side is like the possibility of Gabor removing all of the energy of Uri's deck. He plays like 12 energy. Oh no, actually it's just 11. And he doesn't have Malamar on his board, so he can't recover any energies. And of course Mew is attacking with Mew for 3 damage per turn is very slow.
Yes, because this is why normally you want to later on maybe get at least one Malamar down, just so that you can get some
Exactly.
energy back.
Yeah, so this might play out interestingly. I'm curious to see if Gabor actually manages to remove all the energy from UI. Actually, let's check if he's even playing any energy disruption.
Doesn't
Playing Koga, he's playing Tantalizer, and the Search, Brew.
doesn't look like it, does it?
Oh, actually, that's unfortunate.
Oof. Well, he's playing Faber, but that, of course, then you remove special
Yeah.
energy.
Exactly. Yeah. Pedro at UIC used to play two Crushing Hammer, so
Mhm.
that would have been great for him, of
Yeah.
course. Would have really helped. And yeah, Uri going for the Coco, having a more aggressive approach now.
Yep, Flying Flip does
So
do 20 to everything, of
Exactly,
course.
so Gar was really on the clock to find some supporter or a sub-striker, or optimally both, of course.
There's the Mew just in time, and so now Viridian Forest discards. Is that a Hyper Devolution Spray? Yeah, so you're having to pick that up to read it.
Curious.
Yeah.
And here we see a Lily, so finally a supporter for Gabor. He
Sorry,
will-
not Hyper Devolution Spray Z. Sorry,
Oh.
my mistake. But yeah, I believe it shuffles evolutions back into the deck from where you play, if I recall
And yeah.
correctly.
Here Gabor has a Shedinja, but again, no sub-strikers for him after this Lily for 6. So this is really a poor setup for him.
Yep, it really is. And
And
that's
a power plant, I think.
yeah.
Um,
So to have one of your avoid Pokemon by shuffling any number of evolution cards into your deck. So yeah, very
Yeah.
interesting choice here. There is the
And he
Shedinja.
keeps going for resource management.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not looking too great for Gabor.
No, it really
but
isn't.
Of course, important thing is he got this Mew out, so the Tapu Koko won't be able to spread damage anymore.
Yeah, so
He can do 20 to the active Pokemon, of course, but the Oranguru has a Shedinja attached to it, so it doesn't give up prize cards.
yeah, so yeah, you're right. We'll have to probably switch back into the Mew and start attacking with that again. Maybe again start powering up that Giratina to start doing Shadow Impact and damaging his own stuff so that he can do a Sky Scorching Light later, because of course that also places damage counters rather than
Yes.
dealing damage, so that also gets through the Mew.
And yeah, Uri using the Jirachi here, such an amazing card we saw released in the last set and being popular in most decks actually, because it's a basic Pokemon. It gets access to trainer cards and you can reuse it and stays on the board. It's just such an amazing card. He's used it multiple times already, and he's just able to retreat into the Jirachi whenever he's out of supporters or
Yep.
needs anything. And amazing card, especially in this matchup, it can be very important. Like Gabor doesn't seem to play any hand disruption, but like there are builds with the Persian that discards your opponent's hand cards until there are only 4. There are builds with Slowking that look at your opponent's hand, discard a card.
Oh, lost on a card.
Yeah, lost on a card.
Yeah.
So Jirachi is important to play around with, so because the Guzmas aren't in your hand but in your deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, Uri didn't draw an energy of his Cynthia, so which is of course nice for Gabor. Now he has some more time to get back into the game. Uri only took one single prize card yet, so if he's unable to take another one,
Finally, there is a Zeb Striker for Gabor.
Yes, and two at that. So now Gabor can start going. And he put down a Rhydon on his bench. Interesting tech option.
Yeah, very much. What's yeah, he's playing. Oh, he put
Yeah.
the Rhyhorn down, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so
He's playing a 1/1/1 Rhyperior line. So it seems to be his tech of choice. Nothing like Slowking or Persian. No real disruption.
so I imagine that's probably why he's playing the Devolution Spray Z then, just to
Yeah, yeah.
reuse that Rhyperior line over and over.
He's probably just focusing on milling your opponent's deck, because
Yep.
the Rhydon, if I'm not mistaken, once you evolve it, the Rhyperior, once you evolve it,
Discards top 3,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but yeah, there it is.
Exactly.
Toppling Wind.
So Gabo's strategy appears to be use Oranguru and Substriker to recycle those Shedinjas, and while you're doing this, you also get 3 other cards, so he loses his Devolution Spray to keep reusing this
Yeah.
Rhyperior.
It's essentially a
milling 3
way
cards.
of accelerating a win condition, right? Because without Rhyperior, you're
Yeah.
still going to win at some point if you can get the lock going, but time might not be on your side.
Exactly.
So this just speeds up how what it takes to win.
Here we see the first Guzma from Uri. pulling out this Mew.
Yep, it just does
And
20 to it.
Yes. Of course, not the way you really want to use your Guzumas.
Nope.
Optimally, you would want to take a knockout with them because every Guzuma has a prize.
Mm-hmm.
And this way, he used the Guzuma without having a prize.
And then again, yeah, you're right, having to pick up the right on just to read what it does. Of course, it doesn't matter just yet.
Yeah, but Uri appears to have a pretty bad hand, so he's like hoping to slow Gabor down enough to hoping to slow him down enough to draw out of this.
Yeah.
Also, the 20 damage on the Mew are quite relevant because he can take a knockout with 2 additional attacks of his own Mew.
I think in an ideal world, Gabor would want to attach a third fire energy to the Oranguru and then actually just knock out Uri's Mew with profound knowledge, but that sadly that's not an option because of course that third fire energy is prized.
Yeah, but he can do it at a later point if he just gets a Gladion for his fire energy.
That's very true.
That's definitely an option for him.
So there is the Pokegear. Does he find Gladion off this? No, he finds a Lily though, and he does go for that.
Yes, Gabor has used his Tantalizer last turn. I don't think he has recovered it, but I'm pretty sure he has a Paw Pad in his deck, so he still has options to retreat his Mew, so he's not stuck active.
No, he's not.
He has the options of Gladion for fire energy to retreat, and he has the option of Paw Pad for Tantalizer to switch his active Pokemon with one of his bench Pokemon. And yeah, he's going with another Pokegear, just filling his deck probably. And the Paw Pad going for Tantalizer and Gladion.
So the Pokegear was played before the sprint. Off the sprint, he found a Lieutenant Surge, which he's just played. So now he can play 2 more supporters.
Yeah. And yeah, he's sprinting.
So
I know he's just considering if he wants to play. Yeah, he's playing a Lily first. So this is his second supporter after Lieutenant Surge.
And now there's a Tantalizer.
Yeah, there's the Tantalizer.
And really, this shows the power of Lieutenant Surge as a card. It's kind of one of those cards where, when it first came out, it just seemed so ridiculous almost. It's like, he gets to, play 3 supporters in one turn, or 2 supporters in one turn, I guess, at least.
But instead of the Tantalizer, he's going for the Gladion, and he picked this fire energy. I'm pretty certain of this.
Yeah.
So now he has all fire energies available, and he retreats from you.
Yeah.
An interesting thing to mention is that Gabor doesn't have any bench space left for Shedenia anymore, so this is quite the awkward position.
Yes, it is.
Because usually you want Oranguru and you want a Shedenia, so this is kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Because once this Oranguru gets knocked out, he will have to put a new Oranguru into play, but he can't put a Shedenia onto it.
Yeah.
So this is quite awkward for him.
Yeah, he has to be a bit careful about how he approaches this. He does put the Rhyperior back into his deck, as well as the Devolution Spray Z with that resource management, and now back to Uri's turn, who goes for Stellar Wish.
Again, this Juraj.
Yep, and
showing its strength.
And finding the escape board as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Of course, that card, when attached to a Pokemon, enables it to retreat for 1 less, but also allows it to retreat through status conditions. So
exactly. So this is like the natural partner for Juraj.
Yeah.
These 2 cards just belong together.
Yeah.
Because Juraj, of course, after using its ability, falls asleep, too tired to keep going, and but the escape board allows it to still retreat.
Yeah.
And here we see Gabor recycling his Rhyperior, milling a few cards.
It's actually the first time he's used it all game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but of course he will be able to recycle it because he's going to do a ton of sprints.
So yeah, here we see Uri actually being hurt by not putting any Malama into play. He can't put pressure on, and pressure in this situation would have been great for him. Because if he could take the knockout of the Oranguru, as we have discussed, it would be very awkward for Gabor because he can't put a new Oranguru with Shedenia onto it.
Yeah, and it's very impressive as well, considering how we said at the beginning of the game, obviously Uri's start was a lot stronger.
Yes, exactly. He had a good start. Gabor was struggling, but he couldn't really capitalize on it. He went for the passive strategy right away, putting only 3 damage counters per turn into play.
Yeah, and he just goes for the sprint, draws the rest of his deck, it looks like, and then
exactly, the Devolution Spray, shuffling the Rhyperior back.
Eventually, Devolution Spray, you have to shuffle all of the evolutions back, don't you? Or is it just the top one?
I think it's top one. I'm not exactly sure.
Let's just get a quick read on that. It's any number, so you can choose.
Yeah,
okay.
So pretty good. To only put the Rhyperior back, of course.
God, that does seem better than I realised then. Wow. Because you literally just because I would have thought if it was all of them, obviously you had to wait a turn, do Rhydon, then do Rhyperior. But if you can just do one, then that's pretty good.
And yeah, it will be interesting to see if Uri can target this. He is going for Guzma. Putting up Rhyperior, going for Juraj again.
It's a ride-on currently.
Yeah, right. the Rhyperior line.
Yes.
We all know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to stall some time, but of course this is a very awkward use of resources for him.
Yeah, it really
So many
is.
Guzma already gone, only one prize taken. So even though he had decent opening with Gabor struggling early on, this is going into Gabor's direction, of course, and Gabor's milling again.
Yeah.
He has his paw pad, so he will always have access to Tate and Liza.
Yeah.
So he won't run out of options to retreat. He won't be stuck active.
Yeah.
He has Worship Striker, so he always gets access to all the cards he wants.
Yeah. I mean, also at this point, he can just do constant chains of just power pads and resource management and all the supporters in the world, and as long as Gabor's clever with his resource managements, I think.
Also, he has Koga's Trap, which could be very disruptive for Uri, just slowing him down further, because it's a supporter card that confuses and poisons your opponent's active Pokemon, and you of course don't want to attack with a Pokemon that's confused and poisoned, so you would be forced to retreat and attack with something else. So winning time, of course, in this process. And here we see Gabor going for resource management again, taking his classic Paw Pad, his Devolution Spray, and just a Pokegear, thinking of a third card, not really having much he wants there.
He actually just goes for Rescue Stretcher instead.
Yeah, he really just wants this Devolution Spray to keep going, because like Yura isn't putting up any pressure. Usually you would like to recycle the Brooks Grid to always recycle an Oranguru, an Energy, and a Shedinja line to always keep going. But yeah, of course, Yura is not putting up any pressure.
No.
There's not happening much. There's not going on much for him. So Gabor just has time to go for anything he likes.
Yeah. So, and at this point, obviously, it's taken a while for Uri to draw another energy. So actually attack with Mew again, but it's going to be too slow at this point. 3 damage counter turn won't be enough.
Yeah. He's targeting the Mew here, trying to speed the process up by taking out the Mew and maybe hoping that Gabor forgets to recover it or something. Also, like, Mew is of course the Pokemon with the least HP, so it's only the natural target.
Yeah.
Of course, knocking it out won't matter too much. Gabor can recover it immediately with his Rescue Stretcher.
Yeah.
So the bench barrier ability will always be in play for Gabor.
Oh my goodness, look at this now. He's played Lieutenant Surge. He's just shuffled back in Koga's Trap with the power pad, and now he's just drawn into it with Sprint. This combo of power pads with Lieutenant Surge and sprints in this deck is insanely powerful.
Yes, exactly. Like, once this deck gets going like this, having all those paw pads, having the resource management, having the striker and Shedinjas in play is just so strong at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even need Shedinja at this point. Like we said before, he hasn't got anything out, but it just doesn't matter. Yeah,
yes,
Uri
exactly.
Yeah.
Perhaps Uri should adapt a bit for a game 2, like go for a more aggressive path and like at least keep up the threat of having an attacker, of having the option to power up something like Giratina, and to not give Gabor so much time to set up, because like once this deck has time to set up, it's just so strong.
Yeah, especially this version that Gabor is playing that has this accelerated win condition of just using Rhyperior every turn.
Exactly. So yeah, this is speeding the process up by a lot. We only 20 minutes passed since we started, and like Gabor's already in a commanding position.
Yeah.
Uri's deck looking pretty small, definitely smaller than his discard pile.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. I mean, normal decks can win like this level of time. Normally, stall decks will take almost the entire round just on game 1, just winning that slowly. But no, Gabor is winning surprisingly fast for a stall deck.
Yes. Just one interesting thing about Gabor's deck is that he's not playing anything like Super Scoop Up or something. Like one of Super Scoop Up in the Shedinja deck is nice to fix up your board if you have any Pokemon on that you don't want.
Yeah, especially because obviously you can just use it again and again.
Exactly. For example, in this situation, Gabor would have liked to remove one Striker, so he can have space for another Shedinja. So once the Oranguru gets knocked out, he can put up the Shedinja and then put Oranguru to bench, use the ability of Shedinja to get Oranguru active and a tool on it. Yeah. So he can keep recycling those Orangurus. And of course, at this point, he doesn't need 3 Striker anymore, because 1 or 2 sprints will always draw all the cards he has in deck anyways.
Yeah. So here Uri is retreating again.
And he's finally starting to charge up his Ultronic Rosma.
Yeah.
Attempting to put on some pressure, but of course the Distortion Door is not an option. Mew's blocking it, and of course there are 11 prize cards total, so Uri won't be able to use it anytime soon. But he's almost out of cards. He looks very displeased at this as well. So he knows it's looking tough.
How would the ability affect Distortion Door?
Distortion. Oh, yeah, it places damage, right?
Yeah, and also
Okay,
it's an
never
ability
mind.
anyway, and Mew doesn't stop it.
No. I mean, it's no, not Distortion Door. I mean the
Shadow Impact.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean the GX attack of Ultra Necrozma.
oh, okay. But yes,
Yeah.
right, that's a Sky Scorching Light
Yeah.
GX.
So many confusing names. I'm really sorry, guys.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
it's-
usually just announce, this attack, just so that I don't randomly accidentally say
Yeah.
the wrong attack.
yeah, but no, Sky Scorching Light GX. Yeah, it does indeed place damage counters
Okay,
instead of doing
yeah, I
damage.
remember that.
Yeah,
I
so
remember
it gets
that.
around Mew very nicely indeed.
Yeah, I remember Adam Hawkins once used this against my Zorak Gyarados, and like Magikarp has a similar ability to Mew, so
Yeah. It
still
works.
got around it. So yeah, of course, I remember it places damage counter, but of course, big issue for him is there's no Malamar
No, there's
and there's no energy acceleration for him. He doesn't. They didn't take any prizes really.
yeah.
He has lots of Guzma score.
Well, I mean, in this matchup, not only do you have to take a lot of prizes before you can use it, but you also need to give your opponents some prizes by knocking out your own stuff with Giratina. He's not even done that, so...
Exactly, so going for Giratina, knocking out your own Pokemon, having Malamar to charge up Ultra Necrozma and Giratina
Yeah.
would have maybe been the better strategy for him.
Yeah.
Because as we see, this slow setup is this slow approach is really hurting him.
Yeah.
Because Gabor's deck, like, I think it's just the Rhyperior line that
Yeah.
really surprised him, because usually the Shedinja deck wouldn't be doing much against this.
No.
Mew, like, he could just always use Mew and recover it. The only problem would have been Koga's Trap.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Uriah's approach is fine if you're playing against a slower
Exactly.
version of the Storm
Exactly.
deck, but Gabor's clearly adapted to that by including
Yeah.
this Rhyperior line, like you
Yeah,
said.
the thing that Uri thought was probably like he has unlimited time to win this game. He will just always place 3 damage counters and eventually win.
Yeah.
But yeah, and here we see Uri scooping it up,
Yep.
thinking about how to win game 2. Like, he could have just waited a bit longer to like maybe win a game 1 and like lose game 1 in like 35 minutes and then hope to donk game 2 to at least get a tie out of it.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I don't know, it's possible that Gabor just wins 2-1 if he gets donked now, if he plays really fast in game 3. But yeah, Uri probably thinking about different approaches to the matchup, what he can do better, what he did do wrong, and he's feeling comfortable to win game 2, I guess.
And we can see here some of Gabor's more recent accomplishments, as you did mention earlier. He did get second at the Little SPE, but also
Yes.
bubble top 64 at the...
very unfortunate finish for him. And he had a very strong start. I think he started like 5 or 6-0, but afterwards things went worse. His deck, he played Pikachu pads, like a Pikachu Zekrom tag team with order pads.
Yeah.
So a very aggressive build of the deck. And yeah, he was doing quite good, but of course order pad can bite you back. It's a double-edged sword. Can
Yeah, of
flip
course.
pads, can flip tails.
Meanwhile, from Uri, we did see that he actually
Yes.
did come 5th at the Sheffield Regional
Yes.
back in June.
And I remember the Sheffield Regionals because Uri had an excellent score going into day 2. I think he went either 9-0 or 8-0-1.
Wow.
But definitely one of the best scores we've seen the entire last season, at least in Europe. So it was a very impressive run. However, he was stopped in top 8 by Todd Radcliffe himself.
No, well, I mean, no shame in losing to a player of that
Really?
caliber, of course.
Actually, that might have been a wrong information. They played round 10 or 11, definitely. I don't remember if they played round top 8 as well. But well, here we go back into game 2.
Yep.
And we are almost ready. And yeah, we see the prizes for Gabor.
Yeah.
Nothing too special.
I just noticed Uri's a very, very amazing GX marker there. Yeah,
And
GX
yeah.
tag not used. And starting off with the Mysterious Treasure, discarding an Ultra Necrozma GX. Again, going to have a look through, see what he has available to him. Looking at his prize cards from Archamber, looks like he has
Yeah, it's an
Giratina.
Acerola,
Ooh.
Cynthia, Inkai Giratina, and 2 energy. So nothing too special.
Actually, that's the only Giratina he plays, so that's
Oh,
quite a big
okay,
deal.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, okay, true. That
but-
might matter.
yeah, if he decides to go for this sort of alternative, more aggressive strategy, of course.
And yeah, now we see him go for this Mew right away again.
Yep.
Not prioritizing any Malamar, but
Yep.
of course this time he has an Inkai on board.
Yes.
So he will have at least one Malamar.
Yeah, I think so. He realizes that perhaps he does need a little bit more energy acceleration than he had last time.
And yeah, we're seeing him going for this Marshadow, let loose, spin the wheel. Gabor's laughing, being like, "Oh my god, this again."
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
I mean, obviously the big difference this
And yes.
time is that Gabor doesn't have any blitzels down, so
Yes.
this...
Also, big thing is that Uri doesn't have his Tapu Lele priced this time. So
no.
yeah, and he drew a Lily. if he didn't draw the Lily, he could have drawn like Mysterious Treasure Ultra Ball
So
this time.
Just
So
aggressively slammed it on the table as soon as he saw it. It's like,
Yeah.
bam, Lily.
this time his odds of drawing out of let loose were far better than last time, and even last time it didn't matter. So
Yeah.
and yeah, he's looking decent here, attaching energy to his Gengar Mimikyu, having the Viridian Forest for next turn,
Mhm.
thinking about if he wants to put it down, waiting just to make sure it doesn't get kicked by Power Plant, so he can use it next turn to power up his Gengar Mimikyu and start attacking.
It's funny, of course, because a lot of the time you think if you're playing against like a Stall or Mill deck, you think that, you know, they play so many trainers that, you know, obviously Poltergeist is more likely to hit. But this Stall deck, of course, does feature quite a high Pokemon count, so it's probably it's all
Yeah.
the usual damage you'd expect, rather than specifically, oh, I'm more likely
Yeah.
to.
So Gabor's wants, of course, to set up. It would be nice for him if he can keep his trainer count at the end of the turn lower than 3,
Mm-hmm.
because this way Uri won't be able to take a knockout with Poltergeist. Otherwise, here we would see the big difference of him going first, because it would enable him to take a prize turn to right away.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, Gabor playing an Ultra Ball, throwing away Power Plant. So it did pay off that Uri kept onto his Viridian Forest.
Yeah, very much so.
Otherwise, it would have been replaced right away.
Yeah, and although to be fair, Power Plant doesn't hurt you that much, because
Yeah, but he probably wants his Viridian in play just to get access to his energy, because
that's
last-
very important.
yeah.
Yeah.
last game we've seen he whiffed energies at multiple points, wasn't able to attack, and really lost pace because of this. Also interesting is that Gabor discarded a Substriker with the Ultra Ball, so he already has another Substriker in his hand, doesn't
Yeah.
need that one. He has a Blitzel, and he only has 2 cards in hand, so
Yeah.
Poltergeist won't be able to take a knockout, so that's pretty good for him.
Yeah, he's played that very, very cleverly, just discarding Optimate to make sure that, he's reading it just to make sure that he's done the right thing, and yes, he has. Not many trainers in hand. Does he even, because his hand is a Zeb Striker, what's the other card? Is it a trainer?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter too much. And an Escape Rope, which is might be kind of painful, but also not too important. And yeah, he's putting up the Mew.
Yeah, Gabor puts up Ninkada by contrast.
But you already attached an energy, of course, and he's using the Guzma, now hoping that Gabor has 2, but he only has a single trainer at best. And yeah, he doesn't
just
have
none.
any. Exactly.
Wow.
And drawing another Blitzel.
Wow, that's strong.
So this start is actually better than his last one.
Yeah,
even
it is.
Yeah, even though he only has 1 Substrike on board, he now drew another Blitzel, and it's like basically it's all about the Substrikers. Like last game he couldn't find them, and this game he does.
Also, Gabor does not have many trainers in hand either, so
Yes.
again, that's really good to make sure that he doesn't get damaged by Poltergeist next turn.
Yeah, it was very huge for him that Poltergeist didn't even do 50 damage.
Yeah.
So
Not even like chipping away.
Exactly. Now with Substrikers still undamaged, so 3 item cards would be necessary for Gabor. 3 trainer cards would be necessary for him to take a knockout. And of course, Gabor only drew 4 cards of sprint. However, he didn't draw a great hand. He didn't draw a supporter card. He didn't draw more Blitzels. He only has the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not looking too great, but of course he has this 1 Substory card. Looks rather safe. Uri having a poor opening. Doesn't really get much going. Opts to not put down another Inkay. So he's still not going for a very aggressive approach.
I think you sort of realize again, you don't want to go too much the other way and start, just charging up Ultimate Charisma constantly, and with 2 or 3 Malamars, 1 should be enough for him. It's important that he has got that 1 down, but he's just going to go for the Cynthia instead, and hope to see something else. Oh, not really much to work with there. Just he does see a Juraj, which is good, but
Yeah.
otherwise kind of a bunch of supporters.
Exactly, but Juraj always a nice thing to have. So it's a security that he won't brick too hard.
No.
But of course, like, he doesn't have much going. He doesn't put on any pressure. He's doing 50 damage, and Gabor showing that he has another Substriker. So this looks, again, very much in Gabor's favor here.
Yeah, and drawing the nest ball at the perfect time just to be able to use it, but not take the extra damage from Poltergeist with drawing it for turn.
Exactly. And now he has 2 Substriker. He will have 2 Substriker.
Mhm.
He can pick another card. Thinking about what to take. I'm not sure if he actually wants to put down a 3rd Substriker here, because it might end up in an awkward bench like last game. He's thinking about what he needs most, and
Just goes for Ditto. So I can.
okay.
So you can then decide, if I want a 3rd Substriker, then I can. But if I want a Shedinja,
exactly.
then I can do that instead.
Yeah. Ditto a smart choice here, keeping him this versatility,
Mm-hmm.
seeing what he needs. And
He's got
the
Mew as
Mew
well.
again, so yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty
This is
ideal.
a pretty good board.
Pretty ideal setup as a go. Just goes for the sprint, discards Faber, won't be needing that, and then draws Great Ball. See what gets off this.
He also got an energy, which is of course nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
Great Ball probably just looking for any Pokemon to finish deck, but he didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Not great, but also not dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, also again, even
Yeah.
at its worst, that's 50 less damage that Poltergeist is doing. So
Exactly, I can't stress it enough. This deck wants to go through his deck, through all the cards as quick as possible.
yeah,
But also, if there's no pressure from the opponent, it doesn't have to.
yeah. And with
And he's just passing.
with one card in
Exactly.
hand.
He realizes he could use another sprint, but he doesn't want to risk drawing into too many trainer cards. Instead, just opts to wait this turn out,
Yep.
take 0 damage from the Poltergeist.
And of course, as we already know, the Giratina for Uri is prized, so there'll be no Giratina shenanigans going on here. So just going to go straight for the Guzman Shedinja, bring up his own Mew, retreat back into it, and Poltergeist?
Yes, and he Poltergeist, hitting with Shedinja for weakness and taking a knockout.
Yeah. Oh,
So that's the first prize. And
so I was wrong.
oh
There's 2
yes.
cards in hand, sorry, not 1. So yeah.
Also, it looks like the Giratina will probably be the second card he takes out of his prizes, if he manages to take another prize card
Yes.
with this, of course. Because right now it's still like your board is very weak. There's
Mhm.
not much going on there.
There's a sprint.
And yeah, here we see Gabor go for sprint, has another nest, but probably going for Ninkada, I guess.
Mm.
Just setting those up, being ready. Probably wants to put a Ninjask onto his Oranguru as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he will just see Gabor steadily getting his setup. He has the 2-zip striker, he will be able to start resource management. Then he has the Brock's Grid, recovering some important cards. And yeah, he has basically everything he already needs. He has quite a big deck still, though.
Yeah, he does. And he's going to try and focus on how he wants to progress from here.
Yeah.
Another sprint, so discarding the Rhyperior. Oh, actually, that's a good point. So the other thing that this could turn into, of course, is a Rhydon. So that's
yes.
yeah, versatility is
At this
important.
Yeah, at this point he probably wants a Ninjask for just to have
Shedinja.
Shedinja, exactly.
And
just to have the safety to not give up any prize card.
yeah, and you're right, just reminding Gabor, nope. Well, Ditto goes to the Lost Zone, please.
Yeah. Might be relevant, he might try to recover it.
Yeah.
Probably for wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would be against the rules, so
Yes,
that would be
exactly.
inadvisable.
Would be an unfortunate mistake.
Yes.
And yeah. Gabor now going for the Rhydon or Rhydon. I think no, actually it's
Rhyhorn.
Rhyhorn, Rhydon, Rhyperior.
Yes, there we go.
Always the most complicated Pokemon. But yeah, setting up his Rhyperior line and going for resource management.
Yep. And then
Having 2 cards only. And Uri goes for Poltergeist right away. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't do much. This is looking very bad for him.
that wasn't resource management, it was Power Pad actually. He shuffled in Brock's
No,
Grit
no.
and something else.
No, it was resource management because he put them at the bottom, and one of them was a Pokemon.
Okay. Well, did did Uri just pass?
Yeah. Uri just attacked with Poltergeist. Gabor showed him that he doesn't have any trainers in hand.
Yeah, okay.
So it's looking very
So
bad for
yeah,
Uri.
that went so quickly. I was just like,
Yeah, exactly. It's looking very rough for him.
Mhm.
Also, an important factor is the time.
Yes, very
There's
much
only
so.
14 minutes left. Gabor's up game. He's in control in game 2. He has his setup. Like he still has deck cards in his deck, so
Yeah.
there's still options, but it's looking grim for Uri.
Yeah, it is. And then what looks to be another resource management. Yep, 3 more on the bottom. Uri draws again. Does he have anything useful at all?
Yeah, he can't just keep Poltergeisting. Gabor has just too much control about the cards in his hand. So this Poltergeist very unfortunate tag for him.
Yeah, because he's doing
And
like 50, maybe 100 if he's lucky with those 2 cards. But he knows that Gabor will play his hand out in a way where
And
literally
again,
nothing.
And the Rhyperior comes down. Here Gabor starts milling. the
Oh,
deck.
wow, look at that. 2 Malamars and a Mysterious Treasure.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to value those Malamars too much,
No.
so it shouldn't be that important. Here he goes for the Devolution Spray.
Yeah, the Rhyperior goes back into the deck. And again, Uri
Yes.
has just not been able to
He
be
has an
aggressive.
Ultra Ball here. He has another Sprint, so he can go through a lot of cards. However, he might just opt to Ultra Ball, discard the Elm, and Resource Management, so he's safe to not get hit by Poltergeist again.
Yeah.
And yeah, looks like he's opting to just go for Resource Management.
Gets back the devolution spray.
Not playing the Ultra Ball because he wants to keep it for the Rhyperior for next turn, I would assume.
Yes, of course.
Smart play for him because 2 trainer cards are not too bad.
Yeah. Gets back the Power Plant, the Ultra Ball, and the Devolution Spray Z. Of course, they're at the bottom right now, but that is 100 damage of a Poltergeist.
However, usually Gabor's deck assumes that the Oranguru gets knocked out every turn. So this is still like, it doesn't really matter at all for him.
It's still like a net, by far a net positive because it wasn't even a knockout.
He's just looking through what's left in his deck, making sure what he has to put back in there. He's milling again.
Yeah. So this Ultra Ball is interesting. It actually serves a double purpose because not only does it get back the get the Rhyperior, of course, but that also means the Devolution Spray Z gets shuffled, so he's more likely to draw into it.
So smart plays by Gabor, using his sprints, approaching this deck out situation and where he's in absolute control, using a Lieutenant Surge here, of course, very nice for him. Yes. And just
goes for
everything's going right for Gabor.
Yeah, you can really see he knows how to play his deck very, very well.
Certainly.
Yeah. So
opting to go for thinking about Rescue Stretch on Fire Energy, taking no Gabor. Hands away from your deck. This doesn't go there.
Yeah. Shuffle. Yeah, he's just giving him 0 to shuffle. That's fine.
Yeah, and you are putting
Yeah, I didn't actually realize at first that Gabor plays 2 copies of Gladion because there was one in prizes. And I thought, oh, that might be tricky, but yeah, no, he does play 2. So he was able to use, in spite of one being in the prizes, he was able to use the second one to grab the Fire Energy.
He has lots of one-offs like the Rhyperior line, like the Devolution Spray, which are very key for his strategy. So it's just a smart choice for him to keep 2 Gladion to make sure that he has all the cards he needs to win a game.
Yeah, no kidding. So
and basically the Oranguru gets knocked out. No prize for Juraj thanks to the Shedinja, and just absolute commanding position, full control for Gabor. There's basically nothing that could go wrong at this point.
Yeah, it's so strong, and of course, Professor Helm's Lecture is so ridiculously strong in this deck because of course not only does it grab your basics, but it grabs Shedinja as well. So
exactly, that's like the crucial point why it's in this deck.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might go for a more Lily-focused engine or play other draw supporters and lots of balls, but being able to thin your deck mid-game with it and getting specific cards you need is just so good.
Yeah, the same reason why obviously, although it became not favoured later, a lot of Lost March builds played Professor Helm's Lecture early on because you could grab both Skiploom and Hoppip and Natu with it.
And now an interesting thing is if Gabor manages to win the second game as well, of course, at this point it's almost certain that he will win the best of 3.
Yeah.
But I'm personally curious to see if he manages to take it 2-0 because that would really be a testimony to how strong his version of the deck is.
Yeah, again, it's the fact that he's been able to sort of counteract one of the biggest weaknesses of stall decks, which is the time factor. But if you can sort of stall and win quickly, it's my goodness, you has a powerful combo.
Yes. And we've really seen how much this is like. It almost looks like Gabor's playing chess here.
Yeah. And
he's he just knows he always has control about the cards that are in his deck. He has control about the cards he has access to.
Yeah.
Once he is through his first few turns, he's just in an absolute commanding position.
And of course with this these great balls as well, you can just burn through them so that your eye is doing less with Poltergeist. It's just really, really, really good for Gabor right now.
Yes, absolutely.
And in fact, he just puts 2 more great balls in just so that he can make sure to get rid of him.
Yeah, just having those great balls and having access to his Rhyperior once it
so 50 from the Poltergeist
back into the deck.
Another 3. I mean,
and
what does Juraj do? He had 2 energy discarded, 3 Malamars off of the Rhyperior as well. Brock's Grit. This is so overwhelming. I mean, but when you're being not only are you less likely to be able to take prizes because of the Shedinjas, but then your cards being discarded as well, and your opponent has complete control over their deck because of the combination of Sprint with Brock's Grits with Power Pad and Lieutenant Surge, and this is definitely a sort of textbook showcase of how powerful stall can be.
Exactly, it's also kind of painful to see because I can imagine Gabor having a great time here, sitting there I know what I'm doing, I have everything I can want to, and Juraj sitting on the other side and being damn it, man. I just don't have anything I can do against this deck.
Yeah, Poltergeist, you have 1 trainer in hand, cool. Guess I'll do 50 damage.
Yeah. And yeah, he probably won't even be able to draw his Giratina out of his prizes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Gabor keeps putting out Shedinjas, and I don't believe Juraj's playing any fuel blowers or anything like that.
Yeah, he has Guzma, of course, but he doesn't have an attacker that can take a knockout easily.
No, and
yeah.
Gabor's just going to, over and over again, just put in the Devolution Spray, the Great Ball, and everything else. Just
yeah, here Juraj's just looking around, waiting till the time ends.
Pretty much.
He has like a 20 card hand or something, but nothing useful to do. Just announcing Poltergeist, doing like 50.
Doesn't even knock it out.
Yeah, even if it was a knockout, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
And he's saying, oh yeah, I mistook Oranguru for a trainer. Like, I was like, yeah.
Well,
Not like it matters anyway.
yeah, I mean, they're both white, I guess, so it's an easy mistake to make.
So 5 prizes for Juraj left, 6 minutes on the clock. And
there is...
Yeah, just playing it out for the sake of playing till the end.
Yeah, well, again, it's like you were saying...
I mean, maybe something weird happens, like Gabor plays a Gladiator and shuffles his prizes into the deck.
Yeah.
So you can always hope for something like that. Like, but yeah, of course,
I
Gabor.
I think the weirdest like prize-related thing I ever had is I put out 8 prize cards in a game once. Not quite sure how I did that.
Oh,
but that was...
Yeah, things like this happens whenever humans are involved. Sometimes we just do mistakes where they're like for no reason at all.
It's funny, like the way he said that, where he said, "Oh, when humans are involved," it just made me imagine, like, what if in the future there's like a Pokemon TCG playing AI or something like that? That'd be quite something. Any enthusiastic coders in the stream, let us know how you think of that challenge. TCG playing AI. Yeah. Great Ball.
We're recovering his Pokemon, recovering his supporters, doing his Great Ball. Just looking for the Rhyperior here, using Sprint. He has the Devolution Spray, and he has an Ultra Ball, so he can go for Rhyperior here. He can then shuffle it back into stack with the Devolution Spray and go for Resource Management right away. He's opting to go with a Great Ball though, wanting to conserve this Ultra Ball for next turn. However, not hitting the Rhyperior. Unfortunate for him. Oh, but he hits another Pokemon, so it's the same thing. It's just filling his deck more.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, he would have had to whiff any Pokemon to be punished by this play. So
yeah,
smart choice, of course.
And not only that, but even though he drew into the Devolution Spray, Z actually opted to discard it. So you can of course just get that back, but but that's even more clever because of course that means that he's again Poltergeist doing less damage.
Yeah. And yeah, Poltergeist will do 0 again, I believe.
Unless that's the trainer in his hand, but I don't think it is. And
yeah.
Look at your right hand, like all the options in the world, so many cards, but still nothing to do. And yep, that's just an Oranguru, so no damage.
Guy was just like, sorry mate, nothing there for you.
So sucks to be you, I guess.
Yeah. 4 minutes left on the clock. We see another Shedinja hit the board. Not really necessary, just waiting there in case he wants to do anything.
Yeah. Oh, there's Lieutenant Surge as well, as if Gabor even needed to do that, but he's just going to continue this relentless onslaught. I mean,
exactly. The thing about Lieutenant Surge in this deck is that because resource management lets you recycle so many cards, and Power Pad especially, that you can really effectively use Lieutenant Surge, making sure that you can use multiple supporters per turn.
Yeah, exactly. It's that combination of Lieutenant Surge and
other decks like Lusamine Engineer, for example, just can't recover enough cards to get good value out of Lieutenant Surge.
I mean, literally the only way this turn could be better is if Gabor could like draw into his one Koga's Trap and just use that on the Gengar just to make it even less likely to be able to do anything.
Yeah, the Gengar at this point isn't doing anything at all.
Yeah.
Here we see Gabor draw into 3 trainer cards, items, but of course they don't matter at all. It's just playing them to thin out his deck a bit, getting some Pokemon. Yeah. Also, every shuffle wastes some time, puts him closer to victory, but of course this game is like it's over.
It is. Also, wasting time. But I mean, Gabor is not playing slowly at all. He's playing so fast.
I mean, it's just using up time. It's not like Gabor's wasting any of it. He's just like playing his game.
No, because you very clearly tell he wants to actually win this properly. You know, he's not content with just running out the clock. He wants to actually try mill out his opponent and play super fast.
I mean, it's like time's absolutely not a factor here. Gabor will win 1-0 anyways. He would win this game anyways if it went further. Like, there's just, at this point, there's like nothing left Juraj can really do, because Gabor has just total control of everything.
Yeah, and he honestly might still win this game on time.
Yeah.
Just like
The only thing he might be able to do is like use Mew, put damage counters on bench, something like a bench Jadinia or something. Yeah, Gabor doesn't even have bench Jadinia left. There's like, yeah, like the thing I wanted to say is that like if you knock out Oranguru and Jadinia at the same time with Mew, then you can take a prize, because Gabor wouldn't be able to put another Shedinia into play, so that way he could have taken a prize, but like one prize won't advance this game enough for him to win eventually.
Okay, Gabor might actually not be able to win on time. You're right, he still has quite a few cards left in deck, so, but it's funny to imagine it at least.
Yeah, it would be really nice to see Gabor win 2-0 here.
Yeah. He's missed Rhyperior this turn as well, so.
Yeah.
Oh, but he does have Lieutenant Surge.
But yeah, he's just recovering it.
Oh.
And yeah, getting draw supporter, Lieutenant Surge, getting Devolution Spray back. You are just announcing his Poltergeist.
Yeah,
so for the 5th time in a row, nothing.
So yeah, he literally just played Lieutenant Surge so that Poltergeist would do nothing.
Yeah.
And it draws Rhyperior for turn.
Again. Milling the 4th Malamar, so like at this point 4 Malamar and Rescue Stretcher are gone for Juraj. So he won't have any Malamars from this game either. It
is a very sorry state of affairs for Juraj right now.
Juraj's deck, Juraj's approach, Juraj's plan, Juraj's deck in general are all just too slow to combat the strategy of Gabor, because like, can't stress it enough, once Gabor's set up, he has all the tools he needs to win. I
think in this game you could definitely see that Juraj tried to take a slightly different approach, but even then it just wasn't enough, because his start was not fast enough, simply put.
Exactly. What he would have wanted was like getting a Jirachi active early, getting down multiple Inca, getting a turn to Giratina, starting to take a prize, to put on pressure, take knockouts on this Oranguru, just to make sure that Gabor needs a lot of resources every turn.
Yeah, of course.
But since he couldn't take one-shot knockout, he couldn't really run away, go ahead in prizes. He couldn't put up pressure to disrupt Gabor's setup.
Yeah.
It just didn't run good for him. Like, optimally, he would just attack with his Giratina, put on pressure, take some prizes, use multiple Guzmas with Jirachi to take prizes himself and knock out some of his own bench Pokemon to give up prizes, and then just clean it up with the GX attack of Ultra Necrozma or something like that. Or maybe multiple Mews. But yeah, the way it went, he just had no pressure at all, and we are in the timeout. We're putting down the dice to show extra turns. You are just drawing a card, thinking if you can do anything at all.
And
an interesting possibility, which is probably what Juraj was waiting for, is getting a GX attack Horror House. It forces your opponent to draw cards until they have 7 in hand. So he was maybe hoping that Gabor would play himself into a situation where he has less than 7 cards left in deck and hand, so he could go deck out because of Horror House.
Yeah, but it looks like
that's not gonna happen. Gabor has too many cards in deck. Gabor's been playing around it, and
so Gabor will win the series.
Exactly.
And wow, what a textbook example of the power of the Shedinja.
Exactly. Deck. A very unconventional deck. It doesn't usually you take prizes, right? This deck doesn't take prizes. It just prevents your opponent from taking them. And Gabor using this mill approach to kind of work around the time issue that would usually arise from this strategy, and taking a very commanding victory. A 1-0 over Malamar, it would have been a 2-0 with 5 minutes more maybe.
Yeah, it's a double advantage. Not only you do, of course, you're speeding up your win condition by getting rid of more of their cards, but because you're getting rid of their cards, you're denying them resources which they could then use to come back as well. So it's a double advantage you have there.
Exactly. So kind of slow round 1, to be honest, but an interesting one. We saw the potential of the new cards like Lieutenant Surge, stuff that just made the Shedinja deck even stronger. We didn't see too much action on Juraj's side, so sadly we didn't see the development of a Malamar deck really.
Yeah.
But because it's really a deck that's focused on exchanging big blows with the Ultra Necrozma, or recovering with Giratina against non-GX.
We never really saw that get to happen, because the chances just never really offered, because Gabor was just so disruptive.
But Malamar always a very strong archetype. Might be that we'll see it again later, and when we see the real game plan of the Malamar deck. And the Shedinja deck, Well, it will be interesting to see how far Gabor can take it. It certainly is a deck that has a potential to win this tournament. It's certainly a player that has the potential to win this tournament.
Yeah, exactly. So I do believe we're just going to cut away for a little bit, but we will be right back, so don't go anywhere.